Okay, we are live, and you have the star of the show, which is the cat. Okay, let me try and go, let me go live here on Instagram as well before we get started on our topic. Hello, everyone. Let's see. Give me just a second to go live. Okay, we're good on Instagram as well.
She's purring.
Is she purring? That's what she does. She
Uh-huh.
is a purr machine. All right, thank
Guys,
you everyone for joining us. This is the cat, and it is all about the cat. No, we're going to
isn't she cute?
she's
She's
the best.
Melon.
She's the best. She is a distraction, a
She's such a
great distraction.
cuddly good kitty. I love her so much.
She's far more cuddly than our topic today. Our topic is not as nearly as fun and cute as this cat. So we're going to be looking at Charlie Kirk conspiracy theories, and in general, I want to show you guys why I reject these Charlie Kirk conspiracy theories.
Dun
And
dun dun. You're
dun, dun,
getting
dun.
paid.
Yeah, you must
You're
be
part of the
paid
psyop.
by some. I know, right? Which, by the way, can we be? We're a bit of conspiracy theorists ourselves, though,
Oh
right?
yeah.
Like on other topics.
Yes. Oh
You
yeah.
know, I'm not someone who just trusts the government. Like,
Mhm.
I do not believe the JFK official narrative.
Mhm.
That is ridiculous.
Mhm.
I mean, you guys want
I
to
don't
talk?
even think we went to the. I know we didn't go to the moon.
You want to talk about the lunar landing? You
Yeah,
want to talk about 9/11? You
with the
know,
technology of a Nokia.
I know. With computers that were like weaker than my Apple Watch. Yeah,
Yeah.
but we can't do it now,
Hmm.
right? Okay,
I used
so
to listen to Alex Jones pretty regularly. I mean, I would listen around the way home from.
yeah. So
He used to
we're
be on YouTube. Can you believe there was a time
when that
when
was just
Alex
allowed.
Jones was on
Now I'm
YouTube?
like, don't even say his name because
I
they'll
know.
like,
True that.
yeah, we're live on YouTube now. They'll be
I
like,
haven't been censored in a while,
you
but
said his name. We will not let this video get seen. But yeah, so no, we're definitely not like anti every conspiracy theory.
no.
But just because some things are a conspiracy theory doesn't mean everything. And I honestly, I think that's one of the problems that happened kind of from like the Q era, where we've got into this like question everything. And I mean, let's remember it's good to question things and it's good to, but you have to do it if you're using critical thinking skills. If you're just asking questions and you're never following any kind of like logical way of doing it, then I mean that's no different than what the devil did in the Garden of Eden. He was
Mind
just
you,
asking questions. Did God really say you can,
yeah.
right? You know, just asking questions.
But you,
And
I
it,
think you should have the freedom to be a devil.
yeah, if you
Yeah,
want,
I think
sure.
people should be
Sure.
allowed to ask any kind of crazy questions,
Go
any
for it.
kind of conspiracy. I think that that should be protected under freedom of speech.
Absolutely.
But we do have slander laws, so there's that. I think
Yeah.
those are used. Some people get away with a lot of slander, and some people don't, which is
Yeah.
kind of
Well,
unfair. But
depends on how much money you have and the way
yeah,
that you cleverly word it, which is why just asking questions is really a clever way to get around some of these slander laws if you don't
oh,
actually say it.
where do you
What?
stand on the? Someone said, "Where do you stand on the Tupac faked his death conspiracy?"
Oh, that's funny. There's no way Tupac faked his death, even though
Really?
I believed that when I was in high
There's
school.
people
I believed
look
that
like him.
so much
Oh, you did?
because, oh, dude, we're from California. I was like, no, there's no way. He named his album Machiavelli, and Machiavelli was a guy who faked his death. And do. But it's like, yeah, there's no way. It's been like, how long now? Yeah. Tupac dead.
Oh,
Sorry. Um,
he may have been gay. I will say that.
yeah, I don't know. That may be, I don't know.
You
Yeah.
never know.
Anyway, okay. So what we're gonna do today? That's enough intro.
Yeah.
We're gonna go through some of these
Theories.
points in these conspiracy theories, and I'm gonna show you why I don't think it's not the same as like the JFK assassination. Like I
Mm.
think the official story happens to be true this time. It doesn't mean I believe everything the government says. I just think it happens to be true this time.
And
And
we don't know the full official story yet, too.
well, yeah,
So
but I mean,
that's,
like the
yeah,
basics,
the basics. Yeah.
yeah, the
And
basics
this
that
is
Tyler
talking about
Robinson
Charlie
did it.
Kirk's assassination.
Yeah, the basics
You're
that
getting
Tyler
paid.
Robinson did it.
You've
Yeah,
been
I
paid.
know. Where's my check?
You're fed.
I wish. Where's my check? Yeah, so we're gonna go over that, and we're gonna talk a little bit about some of these. Well, okay, let's just dig into it. So you have heard about the whole theory that the caliber of bullet that was used on him, that could not have been the real one, right? You've heard this, the 30-06, that it was not, he wasn't, you've heard this,
Yeah,
right?
people have heard that.
Yeah.
And they keep saying, this man of steel, it's so
Yeah. The
stupid.
man of
Why would
steel
people even
theory.
say that? It's so
And
stupid.
so
And they
you
say that
can,
a
yeah,
lot. Like,
you can go
oh, I'm
online.
sorry, I'm not going to
Yeah.
believe this man of steel thing. Yeah.
You can go online, you can watch videos of people using those kind of guns, using that type of bullet, and shooting like, a ham hock or something, or shooting they have one where it's like a gel type of shape of a head or something like that. And you see the things, it's smithereens. And it's, first of all, how many takes were taken that, didn't happen like that. And they just showed you the one they want, right? But secondly, here's one thing that you probably haven't heard that should destroy that theory right away. Did you know that MLK was shot with the same caliber of bullet?
Mm.
Have you ever heard that? Did you know that? He was shot in the jaw.
So basically what they're saying is that it's impossible that the bullet that Charlie Kirk was shot with would be stopped in his neck and not have an exit wound, or not completely
and not like just
decapitate
blow
him.
up his whole, like they expect it to be.
Oh my gosh, it was already traumatizing enough.
It was traumatizing enough. Yeah.
Imagine if it was like that. I only saw it once.
I saw it once.
Yeah, and twice. I was like, I had to stay away from X for a while because I knew that that's where they were posting it.
It was traumatizing.
And as soon as I saw it, I just started bawling because I knew he wasn't going to survive. Because I heard, we heard Charlie Kirk got assassinated and then, got shot. That's what we heard. And I was thinking, maybe in the arm or something like that.
Yeah,
and
maybe
immediately when I first went online,
I remember I saw it before you did, and I told you, I was just like, you don't even see that.
But I said I needed to see because I wanted to see.
There's no way he made it. Because it was clear it was a small wound at the beginning and then a lot of blood,
and it was so sad. I just started bawling.
Well, okay. So, and I hate that we have to do this, but we have to because, and this is the main thing that I want people to take away from this. There are people who are getting spun out from these theories, and they're getting detached from reality. And you can't, the way God reaches us is through our brains, through logic, and through like our five senses, knowing what reality is. If you have no concept of reality, if you're living in some fantasy world, it makes it hard for God to reach you. You know what I mean? Like, you need to be grounded in reality. And there's people who are getting spun out in unhealthy ways, right?
Also, the principles of our justice system, even though our justice system could be corrupted and it can be corrupted at times, but the principles of it and what it's based on, that people are innocent until proven guilty. That is so important. I feel like people are putting so much guilt on random friends of Charlie and his wife without
people in maroon shirts.
Yeah, they're like she did it. It's done, and it's like, where's your evidence? But anyways,
so let's talk more about this bullet.
Yeah, the bullet.
Okay, so and I just want to go through these things quickly. I don't want to spend too much time, but so MLK was shot with the same caliber bullet from about half the distance, so even closer than Charlie Kirk was. This is all like well documented, and he was shot in the jaw. It went in, and there was no exit wound. He didn't like explode on contact. You know what I mean? Like, so.
It is possible.
It is possible.
Yeah.
And the other thing about bullets is that it's extremely unpredictable. You can shoot the same bullet. You think you're shooting the exact same way, same place, and yet it does different things depending on the spin inside the inside of the spiral inside of the barrel, the way the wind, all kinds of stuff. There's no way.
You're saying MLK was shot in the jaw?
Yes.
Not Charlie Kirk, because someone thinks that. Yeah, I think they're thinking that you.
No, I'm talking about MLK.
Yeah.
MLK. Yeah, MLK was shot with the same caliber of bullet. Okay, and it didn't. There was no exit wound.
And it didn't blow his head off.
It didn't make him just blow up immediately. Like, people are acting as if this kind of bullet is just like a cannon or something.
And I think that's one of the reasons why people are very much into the conspiracy theories on this, because there's
You go online and you see people
Everyone's like,
shooting,
yeah, it's
and it's
not.
like boom, it blew up,
Yeah,
right?
there's no way.
But people who like hunt regularly, they know that things don't always happen. Though, yes, it's a powerful caliber bullet, and yes, it's possible that it could do a lot of damage. But there's also times when it doesn't, and you just cannot be sure on that. You can't base your whole theory on that, especially given the fact that here's another example, MLK, and it didn't, like, there was no exit wound, and it didn't make him just blow up on contact into pink dust or anything like that.
And
So
I just want to quickly
go
add to
ahead.
that. I'm getting a lot of hate for this distinction, but I think it's important. And I'm someone who studied law. My undergrad is in law, but it's actually the Utah Attorney General's office that's releasing this evidence and that collected the evidence. It's not the feds. The
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
feds, they are also conducting an investigation, but they're not doing a murder investigation. It's the Attorney General's office that's
Yeah.
doing that.
And
The
they're probably
feds,
assisting on the
yeah,
investigation,
but
handing the evidence over.
they are also wanting to see if this is a domestic terrorism or a hate
Yeah.
crime, and if
Hmm.
they can press charges on that. But it's actually the
Like
Utah
Antifa or something.
Attorney General's office that has the evidence. They are also the ones that released the text messages between
Hmm.
um,
They're doing the
Tyler
immediate murder
Robinson. Yeah.
charge.
And so a lot of people are saying it's the feds, but it's not. It's actually the
Yeah,
Utah
yeah,
Attorney
yeah,
General's office.
yeah,
So that's just,
yeah.
I think that's an important distinction.
It is, and people, if you are listening to Candace, and people like her, like, why did she turn in some of her? She turned in like she said, what was it, a death threat to the
Mm-hmm.
feds,
Mm-hmm.
um, to somebody who's high up, and she's on text messaging terms with. So if the feds are all corrupt, then why is she buddies with someone high up there, and why is she turning in some info to them, but then claiming they're making everything else up? That's inconsistent, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So anyway, Charlie, when he was shot, and this is the opposite of what happened with JFK. The official story is Charlie shot from the front. You watch the video, he falls back,
Mm-hmm.
right? That's consistent with being shot from where Tyler Robinson was. It
Mm-hmm.
fits, right? Your
Yeah.
eyeball tell you he was shot from the front, he flew back, right? The JFK story is the exact opposite.
Mm-hmm.
The official narrative of the JFK story is that he was shot from behind. And yet, anyone who watches the video sees him go back and to, I think it's the left, and the exit wounds in the back. That does not fit getting shot from behind. So everyone in the video of his assassination runs to the grassy knoll, right? Because it's like that's where the bullet came from. He got shot. So the official narrative of the JFK assassination is the opposite of what your eyeballs tell you, right?
True.
Whereas the Charlie Kirk assassination, the official narrative fits exactly what your eyeballs tell you.
Mm-hmm.
He was shot from the front, he fell back, right?
Mm-hmm.
It fits exactly, okay? It is indeed possible that that caliber bullet could get hit in the vertebrae, could, depending on how old it is, that, it's an old gun, all this stuff. What kind of, we don't know exactly what, there's all different types of bullets that use that same caliber.
Mm-hmm.
It could be fragmented and then stay into the body, all this stuff. Now there is a ammo manufacturer, and I recommend you guys go and check this guy out on X. He's called Phoenix Ammunition. FENIX. Go look up FENIX Ammunition on X. There you can see videos of his facilities. He posts them where he's just got barrels and barrels of ammo. He produces like 6 million bullets a day or something crazy like that. And he goes in deep diving breakdowns, debunking some of these theories, especially the idea that it could not have been this caliber bullet. And he shows that, yeah, indeed, it could have been. Absolutely. Is it more likely that the bullet does more damage? Yes, but many times, it doesn't. And then there's whole research papers that have been done on how often it doesn't do as much damage. So they've done studies on like hunting, where they go and they look, for example, so you shoot a deer, and you shoot it with a certain caliber bullet, and it doesn't kill the deer, but the lead goes into the body, and the deer keeps running, and then some other animal eats it and gets lead poisoning. Apparently, this happens so often that there have been whole studies on it.
Hmm.
shot with the same kind of bullet. The bullet has an entry wound but no exit, and it shatters inside the body, and there's just fragments, and the animal's still alive, runs around, gets eaten by another animal.
Hmm.
And they've done studies on this. So like it is, I wouldn't say common, but happens enough that there's whole studies on it. And it happened to MLK too. Okay, let's move on from that. Go check out Phoenix Ammunition for more details. So it's definitely a possibility. All right. Then they say, well, okay, maybe. And here's the other question about the ammunition. Why would you lie about that? What is the possible motive for lying about the ammo if it's just such an obvious case closed thing? You see what I'm saying? Like, why wouldn't you just say what the right bullet was and the right gun? If you were trying to lie about this, why would you just leave this gaping hole in your theory? Why wouldn't you just say, yeah, he shot him with this bullet instead? It doesn't make any sense. There's no good reason for that. People will say that that Tyler Robinson, yeah, maybe he did it, but he was a patsy. You know what a patsy is, right? Like the guy that they have do it or take the blame, but he didn't really do it, like Lee Harvey Oswald, right? Here's the problem with that. Patsies don't make it to trial. Patsies don't make it to trial because they're a loose end, right? They don't want, for the same reason Epstein didn't kill himself, for the same reason he's gone, because loose lips sink ships, right?
Now, if he doesn't make it to trial,
yeah, that's another question. But right now, as it is right,
there's still some time.
The guy is sitting there smiling with his. Have you noticed he wears a trans-colored tie? Do you notice that?
Yeah.
The judge is being nice to him, right? I hope judge said something like, "I hope he has a good day" or something like. It's just Patsy. Lee Harvey Oswald was killed like a day later, 2 days later. It was boom, done.
Yeah.
And here's the other thing about this: the big picture.
Well, the guy that shot at Trump too, he was killed. Because there may be some shady stuff with that.
There may be.
I mean,
why was that allowed to happen? Right?
Yeah, exactly. And
I mean,
he's just gone.
Understand with Charlie Kirk, because it was like there wasn't a ton of security. He kind of put himself out there. But with Trump, that's the president. Why was that allowed to happen? Right. So, and then here's the other thing.
And here's the.
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. I mean, people are like, yeah, we need to question everything. I agree with that, but we also need to question the conspiracy theories.
That's all I'm doing. Question the conspiracy theories, right?
You know what I'm saying? But we're not allowed to do that. We're not allowed to do that. But
so speaking of which, if let's say that this grand conspiracy where Bridget Macron and France and Israel and all these different world countries were all coming after, they all wanted to get Charlie Kirk. Why would you do it like that?
Yeah. I think that the whole idea that it's Fed slop is kind of funny because Feds aren't sloppy.
Not like that. Like, do you know, and guys, go look this up on the internet. Go look up the church committee and go look up the heart attack gun. Somebody in the comments, tell me if you've ever heard of the heart attack gun.
Yeah.
If you wanted to get rid of if you wanted to just, make somebody go away like that, do you know how easy it would have been for them to just hit him with a heart attack gun? They've had the technology since the 70s where they could make it look like a heart attack. And it was actually, the CIA did it or something like that, right? So,
and I want to reemphasize this again because, I see a comment where someone's like, the FBI telling the truth in Malcolm X, MLK, JFK, 9/11, January 6th, but with Charlie, they're absolutely telling the truth. Well, I can't emphasize this enough that the murder investigation is being done by the Utah Attorney General's office.
Yeah.
And so if you want to call someone out, they are the ones that are leading the investigation. They're the ones collecting the evidence. They're the ones that release the text messages. They're the ones that released that. So it's just so sloppy to always say it's the feds. Yeah. Yes, the feds part of it, but they're not the one leading this investigation. Yeah. So if you want to say that the feds are corrupt, you need to also say that the Utah Attorney General's office is also corrupt. And maybe they are, but it's just so sloppy. But I think what it is people like to use the word the feds because there's such a negative connotation with that, rightfully so. Because they have been corrupt.
Yeah. Yeah. But it doesn't mean everything they do is all. And here's the thing. Do I think the feds are trustworthy? No. But they're also not omnipotent and they can't control everything. And I think this is an example of if the FBI was making this up, they wouldn't do it like this.
Mm.
The official narrative makes them look stupid.
Mhm.
They got the wrong guy twice. Do you remember that
Yeah.
day? We were all watching our phones, waiting. Did they
Oh,
get him? Did they get him? Did they get him? Twice they got the
yeah.
wrong guy.
Uh-huh.
And they publicly, Cash Patel posted, "We got him. Oops,
Hmm.
that wasn't him." And then again, "We got him. Oops, that wasn't him." And then
Hmm.
when they finally did get him, it wasn't even them. It
Hmm.
fell into, he turned himself in with his parent, with his dad telling him to turn him in. Like it makes them look stupid. Why would they make up a story like that? If they wanted to make it up, they would have been like, "We are these great heroes and we did this, that, and the other." No, no.
Can I throw out a
Go
conspiracy
ahead.
theory?
Go ahead. Go
I'm going to
ahead.
throw out a conspiracy theory, and I'm going to say this is a conspiracy theory. I do not have evidence. I do not have receipts, but this is something that I've thought of. So there's Antifa. There's the guy. Remember when
Wait,
this?
hold on. This person's saying here, why didn't his bodyguards use a trauma kit? Guys, he was dead immediately.
I also think they were trying to remove him from the scene because it was an
Yeah,
active
they tried to
shooter.
rush him. Yeah, and
Yeah,
there was, but that was, I
yeah.
mean, did you see the
They
amount of
were
blood
just
that
trying
came out
to.
of that guy?
And the thing is, here's the thing about that. The 24 hours after Charlie Kirk's assassination, I was a retard. Like I was going through so
Yeah,
much
yeah,
mentally. The way that they acted during that time, I, the psychology of that is so intense that it's
yeah,
not something I'm going to like judge them on
yeah,
because
yeah, yeah,
when was the last time we had a public assassination like that?
yeah.
I mean, it was insane, but
Okay,
yeah,
well,
like they were trying to remove him from what I saw. This is my judgment on that. Is I think they were just trying to remove him from being shot again, and
yeah,
maybe hoping that he could still be alive. But let's get him out of here right away because someone's
yeah.
trying to kill him. That's
Well,
what I saw.
and Erica said that he could have been shot like that in the emergency room and he wouldn't have made it.
Yeah,
And so unless you want to think which by the way, unless you want to go so far as to say you think his wife was in on it, which means you think Charlie was an idiot,
yeah.
which
With
means you
very little evidence, like I said, people
with
need to
no
pray
evidence
about
like
that.
that.
Like,
Like
if you
seriously,
really
guys,
think,
one of the
like,
principles in the
we need
Bible
a little
is
bit
not
more
just
proof.
throwing out accusations on
Yeah.
people. Like
Uh-huh.
that's a Bible principle.
Well,
It's
now
called backbiting.
a
Like
certain person has gaslit their audience to, if you even quote the Bible, that you're
oh yeah,
part
you
of
have
this
an
psyop.
agenda
So
now.
yeah.
Yeah, for quoting the Bible.
Okay. So,
All
anyways,
right, go ahead.
now I forget what I was going to say. Darn it.
All right,
Anyway,
you want me to keep
okay.
going until you
Okay,
think
keep
of
it
it?
going.
All
Uh huh.
right. So the CIA, they had tech. They didn't need to do it like that. That would be a dumb way to do it. The FBI, the story makes them look dumb. That wouldn't be the way that they would make up a story. The shooter turned himself in. The family ID'd him. Apparently, one of his coworkers ID'd him from the video and the way he clenches his fist when he walks.
Oh, that's what I was going to do.
Go
Is
ahead.
my conspiracy theory on it. So I think that there are people that are being paid to direct people away from the left.
I
Because
wouldn't be
the guy,
surprised
yeah,
at
because
that
the
at all.
guy that was first saying that he did it. So remember when it happened, there was this
Yeah,
weird bald
an old
guy
guy, an
and
old
his
guy.
pants were like falling down when he was being arrested because he
And
yelled, "I did it. I did
yeah,
it."
yeah, something like that.
And
Yeah,
turns out this guy's a leftist, and I don't know why people aren't digging into who this guy is.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know
And
why people aren't digging into the groups that this guy was in.
online, they
Yeah,
were okay. That's another thing.
yeah,
Online, leftists were talking about it days before it happened.
yeah. And there was, yeah,
How does that fit your conspiracy theory that the FBI did it or something like that? Like that doesn't. I mean, come on, guys. All the evidence points toward. It's like already is a conspiracy theory. The
mhm,
conspiracy theory is it was a bunch of leftists and people who are with the T word, which I can't say because YouTube will get mad at me, but you guys know what I'm talking about. That gender that starts with the T, right? Um, they were all they were all talking about it before it happened.
yeah, they
And
were.
this kid
Mhm.
probably got help from those types of Antifa type
Yeah,
groups.
I don't think he acted alone
I don't think
because
he acted alone
because
either.
even the main conspiracy theorists, they will say that he was part of it. The leftist, Tyler Robinson,
So
they
we
will say
already
he was part of it.
have a conspiracy, but it's just not exciting enough for you guys, or
Yeah,
what?
I
Like,
don't
you know what I
know.
mean? Like,
Yeah.
okay. So you got to explain also, why did the family turn him in? And that's not like, why did he turn himself in? Like, these things are so big that you don't, that evidence is so overwhelming that this other stuff has got to be really overwhelming, and it's not. Like, the arguments about the bullet, it's not conclusive, because
Hmm.
there's examples where that bullet does do those things, like MLK.
Hmm.
You've got to have better evidence than that to overcome a guy turning himself in, right? The parents going along with it. There's video of this kid walking on campus. You can see the gun in his pant leg when
Hmm.
he's walking. He's walking weird.
Hmm.
There's video of him jumping off the roof. People kept repeating, "Where's the gun?" It's right there in the video of him jumping off the roof.
Hmm.
Right, you can see he has something in his hand that is about that size.
There's
There's
people that say it's not him, and then they refer to an AI enhanced video image. Yeah,
nowadays, see, this is
yeah.
the kind of stuff, but then it's like, okay, why did his parents why did he turn himself in? Why did his
Mhm.
parents turn himself in? Why aren't they screaming from the rooftop every day?
I and this is something that really irks me. You remember Carmelo Anthony, who shot the
Yeah, yeah,
I mean, not
yeah,
shot, stabbed the
yeah,
twin
yeah,
brother teen,
yeah,
and he had multiple witnesses. He
yeah.
definitely did it. He killed the
Hmm.
young man, and I actually wrote an article about this. So he was bailed out by advocates, not by lawyers. There was some Black activist
Hmm.
advocate that went and worked to get him bailed out while he's awaiting trial. But then we have all of these people that don't think that Tyler Robinson shot the gun, right?
Hmm.
They don't think he killed Charlie, yet they don't give a Jack Nicholson about this young man sitting in prison.
Yeah, so you're basically saying, if you really think that this kid didn't do it, you should be
Yeah.
consistent, and
Yeah.
why aren't you
Fighting for
fighting
him
to
to
get
get out
him
because
to
he
get
hasn't
free?
even been on. He should have.
Yeah,
He's been in
so
prison this
so
whole time. I mean, in jail
Candace
this
has
whole time.
Candace has backtracked on this. She had, at one point, she said he wasn't even on campus that day.
Yeah.
At another
But
point,
even so, even if she has said multiple
and
times she
now
doesn't believe he
she's
pulled the
saying,
trigger,
and now
yet
she's
does not
saying
care that
that
he's
he
sitting
didn't
in
act
jail.
alone.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And I
So
think
it's
that's
like, which
actually
one is
pretty
it?
gross. Like,
Yeah.
you guys should be
If you
fighting to get him out of prison, out of
if you
jail, if
if
you
you
don't think
really do
it's him.
think he's,
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
yeah,
But,
yeah,
to
yeah.
each their own. To
Yeah,
each their
yeah.
own.
In the meantime, where Candace is destroying the jury pool, because on the one hand you got leftists who are going to want to acquit him, that will be tainted on the jury pool, and on the other hand it's like, okay, so you're going to have to get a conservative, but how many conservatives are getting pulled into the Candace world and thinking that kid's not guilty either? So who's going to give a just a fair trial? Um, it's dangerous stuff. All right, so because we mentioned her, let's talk a little bit more about Candace. And here's where I would say this, just about her conspiracy theory stuff on this subject. I think people need to follow the simple rule of fool me once, shame on you; fool me twice, shame on me.
Mm.
If you catch her in multiple lies, multiple massive holes, errors in her theories, and you just keep moving, you're asking to get lied to,
Mm.
because you've seen that this is somebody with a pattern of lying, making things up, or just throwing random stuff out there and without any evidence. And if you keep going back to that well, knowing that that well is poison, that's on you. Then you're the fool. You're acting like a fool. So she keeps saying this Spider-Man stuff. Oh, he had to be Spider-Man to get on the roof, right? Had to be Spider-Man. I went to college in Utah. If you understand the topography of Utah, like, where things are just, a lot of stuff is built on either mountains or on the foothills of mountains. The college campus, it's up and down. There's all these steps, right? And that, if you look at that building, it's built on these like tiers, right? Because the ground is there's a lot of steep areas in Utah. And there's video now of a guy just walking onto the roof to show you like how easy this is. You do not have to be Spider-Man. because ground level on a steep incline, and if you build a building like that, you can just walk right on fairly easily onto some of these roofs. You don't have to be Spider-Man.
Mm.
So the fact that she says that shows either one, she has no clue what she's talking about and she's being reckless, or two, she's lying. And if you're going to listen to somebody like that, you are opening yourself up to being lied to. Have fun, because you're going to get spun out into a bunch of conspiracy theories. Um, she got wrong the UTC thing, which is, the timestamp on, what was it, like the Egyptian planes or something like that. She was completely wrong on that, showing again she's throwing things out there, no clue what she's talking about. Oh, she admitted she was wrong. She should have checked that before throwing it out there to her massive audience with these accusations.
Yeah, she just called Tyler Boyer a swinger.
Just just
and,
throwing
and
things
I
out
had
there.
someone say that that's because he's on the dark web. I'm like, okay, you could take a screenshot of that while you're scrolling the dark web, you weirdo. Like,
How do you know? Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
exactly. I'm
Yeah.
like, is she on the dark web?
How did she get that info,
Yeah.
right?
I mean,
Yeah.
she just threw that out there. She's
Throws
like,
it out
Tyler
there.
Boyer, you and
Just
your wife are
throw.
swingers. Yeah.
Yeah. So she was wrong on the UTC time thing. She was wrong about the Spider-Man thing. She's wrong about saying that it's not possible for that caliber of bullet to do that. It is absolutely possible. And then she got tricked. Guys, you should be embarrassed to listen to this woman anymore. She got tricked by someone sending an email in saying, hey, this is the address you need to check out. It all comes back to this address. And then she read the address online. She didn't even bother to, with her hundreds of millions of dollars, didn't bother to have somebody go and check this before she went online live with it. The address was for her lawyer, and she just got spoofed. And it shows you she's just reading whatever random stuff comes in
But
through
people
the.
are going to say, but she corrects it. She's.
Why would you just throw, I mean, how would you like it if someone was just like, hey, I think everyone wearing this colored shirt here was part of an assassination, and you just happen to be one of the people wearing the wrong color shirt that day. And
Yeah.
then later on she says, oh, I corrected it. Would you be okay with that? Oh, it's cool, no big deal. I just got all these death threats and all this attention, my face plastered everywhere because I was wearing a maroon shirt. You can't just throw things like that out there.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, all right. So
And the thing
we're
is,
almost done here. Go ahead.
if you're really doing a credible investigation, making it so public, making sure that it's live, also making sure that people can send you money while you're going
Oh,
live.
and one thing at a time. I'll give you another name next
Yeah,
time.
yeah, that's yeah. Because I've watched them, and there was a time where she was like, "I'm going to release one name per episode, like release all the names." And then I mentioned this last time, so she told Erica that she needs to be completely transparent
Yeah, yeah.
about what she's doing with Charlie's body after he died. She needs to be completely transparent about her intimate moments where
Hmm,
she's
hmm.
grieving because she let the public see some of her intimate moments, so now she needs to see it all. Well, can you do that with your text messages?
Yeah,
Because she shared an intimate text from Charlie where he was saying something about a shirt, and Candace said that that he should change his shirt before going on a date, and Candace said she was in love. He was in love with this girl. Well,
yeah,
we don't know that as a fact. That's just what Candace is saying. But can you share all your intimate texts now with
yeah.
him?
Why don't you share the
Apply
text
that same
messages?
standard. I don't.
Yeah,
It's hypocrisy. It's
yeah,
very hypocritical
yeah.
of her to say you need to share everything, but I don't have to share everything.
Erica has to share everything because she
Yeah.
shares some.
Or
So
I will share it, but it'll be on the next episode.
I know, right? Why doesn't Candace share the text messages that she shared with her and Charlie between the two of them around the time he unfollowed her on social media,
Mm-hmm.
or around the time she left TPUSA?
Mm-hmm.
What were those text messages like?
Or the text messages of her congratulating him when he had a son and a daughter.
Right?
Yeah.
Because yeah. So I don't know. She has
That's,
to share it all then, right?
mm-hmm.
Okay, so oh, and if you came late, because I see some people saying no, it wasn't possible to use that caliber of gun. Guys, go look up the caliber of gun that shot MLK. If you came late, I talked about that at the beginning. Go look that up. It's the same caliber of gun. It did not turn him into pink mist. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
no exit wound. He MLK, not Charlie, MLK was shot in the jaw and there was no exit wound, right? Okay, it's same caliber of gun. And also, if you want more info on this, because I think this really kills it, people are getting convinced by this. They start with the bullet thing and they get spun out from that. Go look up Phoenix Ammunition, FENIX Ammunition on X. He has videos breaking this down. The guy is an ammo manufacturer and he shows how, yes, this is possible. So unless you have your own manufacturing company where you're manufacturing 6 million bullets a day and you're that much of a gun guy as he is, or you can explain to me how the how MLK was shot with the same caliber and it didn't blow him up, then you probably don't know what you're talking about. All right. I'm almost done here with my list of things. I got 2 more things. So the FBI looks dumb in this story. If they wouldn't have made this story up. Lastly, why are we not now focused on the left, Antifa, and the John Brown gun clubs? Do you guys even know what the John Brown gun clubs are? These are leftist, trans type of focused left-wing gun clubs, and they're named after John Brown, who was an abolitionist, who was he was crazy. He was executed because he was trying to start a race war. What he did was he was going and trying to get he was basically trying to get black people in the South to rise up and like kill all the white people. He was a nut. Okay. And so his whole thing was like start a revolution. That was his thing. Now you have left-wing groups with a bunch of like trans leanings that are calling themselves the John Brown gun clubs. Do you realize how scary that is? How come we're not talking about that? How come we're not talking about that? We're not talking about Antifa. We're not talking about crushing these networks, these terror networks that this kid was probably working with.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why is because we've been distracted by people like Candace going into all of these crazy rabbit holes. When her theories make no sense, they get blown apart one after another. There's all these holes in them. And the official story is indeed plausible.
And if she's covering everything, like she says, she wants to cover everything, why hasn't she covered that? You know, it's something that should be addressed. It's something that should be looked into, especially now that she's saying that Tyler Robinson is part of it, that he's part of it. I'm glad she's admitting that. And I think she started admitting that in the beginning and then kind of abandoned that and then admitting that again, because the trial's starting.
She's back.
The trial's starting. So that those groups should be investigated. What group was this kid part of? What group was that guy that was saying, I did it, who was obviously a distraction so that this kid could get away, or whoever shot the gun?
How is he involved?
Again, right? I'm not even going to say it's, I am awaiting trial. I think our side, we used to be all about innocent until proven guilty. I remember.
Well, that's how the legal system works.
Yeah. And I
we
remember
can use common sense.
There were certain times where people are being accused of things on our side and we go to bat for them because we're like innocent until proven guilty. Right.
Yeah.
And we're not doing that anymore. It's guilty until proven innocent. And so I'm excited to see this trial. I think if anyone is doing a responsible investigation, they actually should fly out if they can afford to do that and sit in the courthouse, because it is being opened for people to see. It's also there's going to be cameras in it. So I think that that's going to be very interesting to see the actual trial, what evidence they've gathered, because again, this investigation has not been public. Like, and I don't know, a lot of people keep saying the feds, but it's the Utah Attorney General's office that's leading the murder investigation. It actually brought the charges against Tyler Robinson.
So at the state level.
There is more evidence. So I'm interested to see what evidence they have. And I think it's really, like I said, I'm not going to put guilt on anyone until it's proven. And but there is plausibility, and there's the plausibility is very high that it could be this young man and
Yeah, yeah.
left-leaning groups a left-leaning group that was acting to do this.
And that's what we should be focusing on right now. And
Yeah, or all of it. I mean, I'm not against people asking questions. I'm not against people
well,
questioning.
and here's the thing, like, but we have to do it responsibly, and we have to do it in a way where it's like, again, I will point to the principle: fool me once, shame on you; fool me
Mhm,
twice, shame on me.
mhm.
Somebody like Candace, and there's others. She's not the only one. There's like Ian Carroll and all these other people who are doing the same grift. But if they're just throwing out theories that have these massive holes in them, and they just keep doing it, and here's a new theory today, and a new one today, and a new one today,
Well, how
and
many different
continue,
have there been? There's
exactly. And
been
if you continue to
there's
listen to
Israel,
those,
then it
you're
was
you're you're opening yourself up to getting lied
yeah.
to.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah. And
And but here's the really, really clever part of it all is that if you dare to speak against it, she has gaslit her audience to accuse you of getting paid in a paid psyop.
yeah,
And what's and there's
send the check. Where's my money?
no, two truths and a lie. No, we're not trying to get money on
I'm
this. I don't even want to
I'm
joke about that.
joking.
I'm
I'm
like so
joking.
tired of people accusing me
I
of that
know.
right now that the
My
joke
point is, I'm not getting any
yeah,
checks.
the jokes are yeah, but I do think there's a paid psyop against her right now, especially with the stuff that she said on Israel. I do think that there is a paid psyop against her. It's just,
I would all
yeah.
the whole thing is all the different sides.
But
There's
I
paid
also think that
on every side.
she's being paid by people as well.
Exactly.
Everyone on our side that has
Eh,
a big following that hasn't exposed all of these groups and foreign monies that go towards them, that hasn't said anything about it, they are in on it because that definitely happens. There is definitely people, and I have exposed this before. I did a whole live on it. Um, there are paid campaigns. I actually got
for
offered to do,
basically
yeah,
anything you can think
and
of,
I don't,
there's a paid
but
campaign. Yeah.
yeah, and
Yeah.
I do think that she's been part of those as well. She has people that back her and are giving her a lot of money
To
to
say
put
certain
things in the
things and
forefront. In
then
fact, and
uh,
this is a little of a distraction, but I think I want to just I want to say this. So some of you guys know who DC Drano is.
yeah.
DC Drano does a lot of these paid campaigns because I
Yeah.
know how to recognize them. And I approached him in person and asked him
Yeah.
about this. This was 2 years
Yeah.
ago. And I was like, hey, I noticed that you do these paid campaigns where you don't disclose to your audience, but you push a message. And what he told me, he's all, I'm just being paid to push certain opinions that I have, but put them in the forefront. That's what he said. And I
Yeah.
was like, okay. So, anyways, people that are stupid enough to accuse me of that and don't know me, you guys can just leave. Like,
Well, okay.
seriously.
Show me one other person,
Yeah.
because I don't know. Do you know of
Because
any others
they're
on
all
the
doing
right?
it. Not
Yeah,
I, but
show me one other influencer who has talked about this like Holly has,
no, I
who has
know.
talked about the fact that on
And
our
it's
side,
sad. It's sad that a lot of them are doing
yeah,
it.
yeah,
I will say there's been I don't know who's exposed it. People on X, there's a few people on X that have exposed
yeah,
it.
there,
But it was
yeah,
very disappointing for me, and I actually
yeah.
lost a lot of respect for people with
Hmm.
that.
Another thing to
And
watch for is when you see people constantly like sign the pledge. Not that it's every time, but a lot of times,
oh,
guys,
it's every time. When they're
they're
asking you to sign a
sign
petition,
a
they're getting
pledge.
paid per signature. And
Yeah,
it's just email harvesting.
they're
Don't do
just
that.
email
If someone
harvesting.
asks you to sign a petition for
Nothing's going to
abortion
happen from it,
or
or
to
to
ban
fight
trans youth,
abortion, to
yeah,
help Trump's
it's
agenda,
just email
whatever.
harvesting.
Like
Don't do it.
that's
Yeah.
all it is. They're getting
Yeah.
paid. They're
Uh-huh.
getting paid
They
to
get
get your
paid
emails.
per signature. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Mhm.
So, end of the day, our focus was supposed to be crushing Antifa and the left and dealing with things that can be verified instead of just things that just wild stuff that can be easily disproven. But we're not doing that. And it's because the right is full of grifters, which you just mentioned. It's because the right is full of grifters. And it's a massive shame that we had all this momentum. We had identified, let's go after Antifa and the left and these crazy people, and let's break apart. Let's look into who's funding them and the George Soroses and all this stuff behind it. And then it was like that's all gone, and we're not even
Mhm.
focused on that at all. And we had all this momentum, And Charlie Kirk's organization was massively growing. People were going back to church.
Yeah,
Bible
they
sales were
opened up
going
a
through the
bunch of
roof
PPUSA
all over the
chapters.
country. And now people are just like, there's a huge segment of the right that is just off into this fantasy world with all these ridiculous conspiracy theories. And they're tearing down his legacy, attacking his widow, making Candace a
Mhm.
lot of money, and people like her, not just her, and not focusing on the left or Antifa or all this stuff at all. Not
Mhm.
at all. Do you think that the left is happy at what we're doing, ripping our side apart? So,
And the thing is, I think that her audience is going to burn out on it
and she'll
and
switch to
move
something
on.
else. Yeah.
I think by February 1st, I'm calling it. It's going to be a Hollywood conspiracy theory that she's going to be doing a series on. And she will not have turned in any of her evidence to the Utah Attorney General's office. And people will have moved on. I think
Some
that's
other
what it's going to
tragedy.
be.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll
We'll
see. And
see.
I think time will tell. I think time will tell. And um, I pray this is what I really want people to do when they are wanting to put guilt on someone with
Hmm.
very little evidence, if any evidence.
Hmm.
Ask God, talk to God about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, should I, because this woman, a lot of people don't like Erica Kirk's eyes or something.
Yeah,
They,
because
yeah, yeah.
she has intense blue
They don't
eyes.
like that
That
she's
means she's
promoting,
guilty. Yeah.
that she's promoting Charlie's book that he wrote. Is that a reason? Ask God, like, should I put guilt on her because of that? You
Hmm.
know,
Is that a good enough reason?
I think discernment is so important right now. And, you guys can hate us for doing this. It's okay. It's fine. But I think the people that do see through all of this and are keeping their brains turned on, they know what's going on.
Well,
And
and our intentions are, look, I hate to see it. Literally, it makes me mad to see what is being done to a widow without any good evidence, to an organization that this guy spent his whole life and handpicked all his successors and his board and everything. Like, to just see it all torn down, for us to have the wrong focus, for us to take our eyes off the ball on Antifa and all these groups, and we're wasting all this time. And I don't even want to do, we did a live on this, or we did a video on this the other day, and I really don't want to talk about this anymore. I want
yeah,
to be the final one, nail in the coffin,
what
and
do you have
I'd
to
like to move
say?
on.
And I think this is a valid concern of people's because it has been so sensationalized. What do you say about when people accuse Turning Point USA employees of lying? So, for example, like the Rob McCoy stuff, who's the father of,
Oh yeah, you mean of
and
the, like, blood on him or
yeah,
something like that?
yeah. What do
That
you say
is
to that?
that is such a small, insignificant, like, the guy, the son. So apparently it's a pastor who
Hmm.
was preaching like
Hmm.
weeks later
Yeah.
about the incident. The son had mentioned to the dad that there was people who had blood on them or something like that. And this has been dealt with on the Charlie Kirk show. And then the dad, like weeks later, he remembered his son saying that he had blood on him, and so he misspoke. And then the son went and clarified it. Like, this is such a small thing, and it's been clarified. Like,
Hmm.
this is like, that's it. Like, that's not even a lie, and that's
Hmm.
like, that's this the
Yeah,
father.
if you turn that into a court as evidence,
No, that's not
they'd
that's
be
not
like,
a,
okay.
okay. He misspoke and then clarified.
And then I have another
What?
one for you. I have another question for you. What do you think about, Candace? People are saying she's just asking questions. What do you think about when Candace talks about Charlie Kirk's religious beliefs? Because
Oh,
we just had a very religious book come out by Charlie, like probably his
yes.
most religious book he has ever released. And
And she's already attacking it.
it's about
Yeah.
keeping the Sabbath. And
Yeah.
she
Yeah.
immediately said, I don't keep Shabbat because I'm a Christian.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
obviously won't read his book, even though she's his best friend.
Yeah. Best
But
friend. But yeah.
but
Yeah.
but Candace has asserted that she thinks Charlie was turning to becoming a Catholic. And
She has insinuated that.
yeah.
But
And she
before
also
his
said that
death.
he probably had a Catholic burial.
Yeah, which,
Um,
yeah, she
and she
insinuated
also
that as
said that he
well.
was praying the rosary, possibly.
So I mean, this is the fool me once, she's lying. Okay, just the Catholic burial alone. You can't have a Catholic burial without going through a whole process of like what she's talking
Becoming a
about is,
Catholic,
yeah, you have
like
to be
fully
like
becoming a Catholic.
confirmed and all
Yeah.
this. Like there's a
And they
process,
have records of that.
Yeah, like you can't just like not anyone can go get buried in a Catholic cemetery. Like there's a process for this. She's just throwing this stuff out there. She's making things up. And she's attacking Protestants. By the way, if you're one of her fans and you're a Protestant, you should be deeply insulted by the way that she said, well, Charlie, he's too smart to stay a Protestant. Okay, so you're saying that Protestants are dumb? Like, why would you go and it's just so insensitive and it's dishonest and like I
Which,
don't
by
know.
the way, if I ever get killed, which I have had death threats. In fact,
Yeah.
24 hours after Charlie's death, I was receiving some of the worst death threats I've ever had. The only people that can speak for me and my beliefs are my husband and I would say my friend Kiana right now, who knows me very well and who knows my beliefs. That those are the only two people that can speak
Mhm.
for me. Do not let anyone else say that I was this or I was that.
Secretly your best
Yes.
friend
And if I have
and
some woman
uh,
releasing text messages of mine from
uh,
7 years ago or before I was with Joshua, which I've been married 15 years. So
yeah,
saying that I
probably
was
longer than
deeply in
that.
love with this other guy
Oh my gosh.
because I don't know why.
When you were in your
Yeah.
20s or
Please,
something.
please be angry at that woman for me. Thank
Yes.
you. Please be angry at that
Yes.
woman for me. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's my public service announcement.
Yeah, there you go. Now we all have to put these announcements out
Yeah.
because of it's just evil. It's
Mhm.
evil what these people are doing. It should be obvious on the surface. And I don't know. I guess I'll just end with
Oh,
reminding
and if
people.
and if Candace ever gets assassinated, I will be doing a series on how it was her husband. They had a very weird way they met.
And just ask
I'm
questions.
just
Right.
kidding.
Just
I'm
go.
just kidding. I
Yeah.
would not do that. I'm not
Yeah.
trying to make money off of someone's death.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can,
No.
you guys could even see that you can't even send me money right now. If you tried, you couldn't. There's no
Yeah.
way. I mean, you can send Candace hundreds when she does her lives, but you can't send me any. So
Which she is worth, her husband is worth over like 200
100,
million
yeah,
dollars.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, a lot.
180 million or something.
Uh-huh.
And she's still asking for money from the average Joe.
Yeah, but that's just,
Whatever. Okay. So, let's end. Maybe we'll
we're
just
being
end.
petty now.
Yeah. Let's just end with this thought. Like, just asking questions. I will remind you guys that there is a very clever way of insinuating something with the question. And the devil in the Garden of Eden was just asking questions. Go read it. Genesis chapter 3. Has God said? He just asked the question. Did God really say you can't eat from that tree? He just asked a question. He didn't say you should go eat from the tree. He just asked the question. Did God really say that? So go and rewind this. Look at the beginning. Go check out the evidence. I went through all the points. I think the official narrative in this case makes sense. I don't believe everything the government tells me, but I do. In this case, it makes sense. And the conspiracy theories, there's massive holes in them. So let's end it.
We're just asking questions of the
Yeah.
conspiracy theories.
Ask questions of the questioners. And if you're not
Yeah.
allowed to do that, then there's a problem.
There's a
Right?
problem, and we aren't. And that's what
Yeah.
she has gaslit her audience to believe, that if anyone dares to question her, dares to expose anything about her intentions, we're a part of a paid psyop.
Yeah.
Good job. I mean, that's pretty brilliant. I will give her credit for that.
Yeah. She's a master manipulator.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
All right.
Let's get out of here.
Okay.
God bless you guys. And try and focus on
The left.
destroying the left. Yeah, maybe, please. All right.
Or just look into it at least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have a good night. And
All right.
I'm ending the live stream. God
Okay.
bless.
God bless.